Reviews.
Back up in here, yo.
Like he never left. In their light swimwear. Even though it's winter. Alright, so. I just noticed, I think you have a tan from wearing the mask all the time.
Tan mask.
Tan mask. Black mask. Wonder Woman.
A woman, how's it end?
How does it end?
She flies off into the sun. Well, flying, gliding.
She glides.
Glide, fly, wind current to the sunset. Wonder Woman.
To backtrack on how we get to this glorious.
I don't really like the invisible jet. Maybe she's literally in the invisible jet, but you can't see it because it's invisible. It's John Cena.
That was another weird thing. So let's start off with all the spoiler bits right off the bat, and then we'll get into how we get to Wonder Woman flying into the sunset. So we don't like the way it shows her powers. We mentioned this in our non-spoiler review, but now we can get into the nitty-gritty, so to speak, right? So the way her powers are depicted, she just has like this over time, oh, I've been practicing on how to make things invisible. Like, yeah, my dad hid all of Themyscira with invisibility. Okay. Never known that Wonder Woman can at will make things invisible. I don't think that's how she originally got the invisible jet. I could be wrong.
What about if she has always been flying the entire time and faking everybody out that she's in a jet and she's just doing this and just flying naturally?
That would be pretty funny. However, in the old cartoon, there is a white outline of the jet, so it's there. It's a thing. I also don't like how Chris Pine's character is literally, his flight experience has nothing to do with in the realm of current day or even in the 1980s flight technology, and all of a sudden he's just magically able to fly this plane out of nowhere. No. Steve, no. Okay.
Plane technology hasn't changed from World War One to the 80s. It's still the same thing. It's just,
No. Again, I still want to say that all the actors did pretty good. I still don't really care for Kristen Wiig's character in this one. Barbara Minerva.
I mean, I didn't have they wanted her character to be nerdy and clumsy, and it worked. It just, there was no depth behind the villain. Like, it's not like, oh, you really needed.
Her motive was like preservation of self.
Yeah, it's not like you wanted Wonder Woman to beat her. It's like you felt sorry for the villain,
which is like weird. Like, oh, like yes, I've been a nerd all my life, but I actually am a good person. Yeah. People just don't like talking to nerds. Because apparently in the 80s, nerds weren't that cool. Nerds! But the, I don't know, like I said, it kind of falls a little flat. Her general performance, and then Wonder Woman is like the biggest, like, blocker, terrible wingman. She's trying to stop her friend from scoring with the extremely wealthy guy.
Yeah.
Because she's like, Barbara, can I get your focus over here? And Barbara's clearly trying to talk to Maxwell Lord. And she's over there basically trying to block. She's like, no.
If I can't be the guy I want to be with, you can't be either.
Single ladies only. Right? So it's kind of weird to see that throughout the entire film. And then she's kind of bossing her around. Yeah. But then she's not. And then she is.
Yeah. I like to be in your frame when you're weaker than me.
Yeah. Which is, like, Barbara's character kind of picks that up too. And it's awkward that she would act that way towards her. And then this whole, like, having to renounce your wish. Why would you make Wonder Woman be like, I'm going to give up all my powers and my ability to help people throughout the world because I want this man?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I'm all for a decent love story, but to degrade Wonder Woman to the fact that she would actually really consider giving up her powers for a dude? No, that's not going to happen. And how dare you, Patty Jenkins, for putting that in a damn story? Really? She's not going to give up her powers for some dude. No. Nobody, really. Maybe like her mom. Maybe save like all of the Amazons or something. Like, I would have believed that. right?
Save all the Amazons.
Like to save all of Themyscira. That makes a whole lot more sense in the grand scheme of things. Like some shit, like something happens, right? Like maybe Max Lord like ends up taking out all of Themyscira or something, and she's like, "Oh, I wish to have Themyscira back," or something like that, and then they all come back. Obviously, it wouldn't work though because in the future, Themyscira is still there. So something like that would have been kind of cool, or I don't know, hell, to say like she wished that she knew the great warrior, right?
Yeah.
Who later on we find out is portrayed by Linda Carter. And then she's still out in the world doing things. So she's not actually dead, even though I think the story that Wonder Woman is told is that like she sacrificed her life to save all of them, right? To hold back all of mankind attacking, so the Amazons could escape the Themyscira. Weird story, by the way. Just so she could wear golden armor.
But she has her armor, so it's like that's why I think that she's dead because her armor is left behind.
They're like, why would she leave it behind?
Yeah. So she must be dead.
Yeah, so she must be dead. So she just kind of blends back into society. What else, man? The powers. I mean, lassoing clouds to swing around like she's Tarzan.
Even if it was clouds and like wrapped around, it's literally just lassoing.
It's like
nothing.
It's like attaching to inside of a cloud, but you don't really see. I guess it's like holding on to air somehow.
But there's even scenes where there's no clouds in the sky, and she's still,
like this. It's like
she's grabbing air.
Just there.
Yeah, it's like a video game they didn't think it through, and they're just like Spider-Man just webbing nothing, and it's just like I'm swinging from absolutely nothing, and there's nothing there. Like that, it's why would you swing from nothing there? And then like the lasso splits and does things, and you're just like, okay, you just pick and choose.
Lasso of truth can literally like rope in anything. I guess is what they're trying to convey to us, which is super weird. The whole premise of the film, like, oh, the truth is important. That's what you need to do. Be truthful, Diana. Don't cheat. And let's be honest, okay? That scene where she's like sliding down the little pit. Did she really cheat? I mean, come on.
I mean, she missed one.
She didn't shoot the thing with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
What if she just didn't hit it anyways? Is she supposed to continue on, or is she not supposed to continue on? I don't know the rules. Did anyone else know the rules? I didn't know the rules. Hell, for all I saw was a bunch of grown-ass women get pissed off that the little girl was gonna beat them, and a mom and a friend trying to teach her a lesson, basically. Home chick from Princess Bride. Shouts out to you.
Yes.
If anyone was wondering what the Princess Bride has been doing, she's clearly been in the role of an Amazon.
Or House of Cards.
Or House of Cards. What else was on there that I did not appreciate or spoilery? Oh, the fact that Max Lord wishes himself to become the Wishing Stone.
Instead of just like granting him power to do like his own wishes or something like that. Like instead of just granting like the power to...
I wish to have infinite wishes.
Yeah. Or wishing to make whatever wishes I want to do happen. Or something else than that besides asking someone else to wish.
Because I haven't looked up to see what Max Lord Well's original powers are to make like dreams come true, so to speak, or what have you. But if I remember correctly, it's not quite the same, and it's not based off the stone or anything like that. As a matter of fact, let's look it up really quick. Right there's a Max Lord Well database. You can see what his powers are from. Let's see, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
All it says is his powers suck. Anyways. And you could have picked a better villain for this movie.
Yeah, anyone. I mean, heck. That's the other thing I was gonna say too. So this is the classic Spider-Man 3 thing, right? Where you put in like more villains than what you need. Like one villain is fine. You don't need Max Lord Well.
Cheetah would have been fine, and Cheetah wasn't even called Cheetah, and it wasn't like she was ever really a threat to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman just like, hey, snap out of it. Like I can beat you. It's not like she felt like she was a real threat to her. It was just kind of like, I could beat you, but I want you to see you're going down the wrong path. Like that's kind of what it was. It wasn't like, I mean, oh, you're such a threat to me. You're gonna beat me down. It's like, wake up before I have to beat some sense into you. Like, and that's kind of how she treated her. Like, I'm still stronger than you. And I'm still better than you.
Yeah, so in the comics he has mind control ability. So initially he doesn't even have any special powers. He's just a high powered executive causing trouble with all his money. Which in here they make him a failure, basically, right? Like the whole premise around him, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I'm a nobody, and this is why I want to do this. Dumb.
Yeah, he basically wishes himself to be a successful
I wish to
CEO.
be successful. I wish to have powers. All you need to do but is wish, right? Like there's tons of other wish movies out there that do wishing way better.
Wishmaster.
Wishmaster, and I think that movie is not that good either, but it's better than this. And so like Maxwell Well technically has like mind control of other people, right? So I guess their way to say he's like mind controlling people was
He's getting their wish.
getting them to wish, and then he in turn is.
But he's basically manipulating their wish to benefit him. Basically.
Yeah, he's saying like I'll grant your wish, and in return I'll get this from you.
Yes.
Right. So it kind of goes with that whole. It's a weird mix to having wishes granted and the monkey's paw.
Yeah.
All in one.
Yeah, it's like he's the monkey's paw, so he's taking all these stuff from people to basically make himself better, and it's just like, okay.
Which is odd because it still causes him to have a negative effect, right? And if he was indeed the wishing stone itself doesn't have any negative effects. Yeah. So it's.
But I guess because all wishes have to be negative at some point.
Yeah. So and I guess since he's the one granting them and he's not an inanimate object, he's taking the brunt of all the wishes that are being made.
Yeah, because granting a wish is also being his wish, so it's unnecessary. That's what the whole point is.
Yeah, because later on he just wishes to not. It basically says he's gonna take someone's health.
Yeah.
Right.
He starts taking the health from everybody to basically make himself fine. He's taking all the
and
wishes.
He'll be fine forever now at that point, which is crazy.
Like everyone's energy that's making all these wishes that supposedly everyone renounced. But I'm like, someone in there was like, I wish to be a god.
Right? And then we don't know if he ever. I mean, personally speaking, I'm like, hey, I wish to be a god. I ain't renouncing nothing.
It's like all of a sudden he's gonna renounce it. I mean, what side effect was that too? And then now since he renounced his wish. Is there even a side effect? Someone's walking around going, suckers.
That's another thing. How do we know that everyone really renounced their wishes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
how did everyone still hear her when she talked about it? Some people might have been out there trying their powers out.
Yep. Could have turned the TV off. Could have walked away. And the fact that they said like, oh, but it's like touching people, right? Talking about the broadcast. I think that's kind of a silly way to say that, oh, I'm going to use the power of TV, which again, in my opinion, very ignorant way to try to tie into nowadays format of social media and people being tied to screens from back in the 80s. Really? Really? Unnecessary. Having technology be like at the forefront towards the end of this plot was silly, in my personal opinion. Totally silly.
But the TV particles touch everybody from a satellite.
Dumb. And then the whole thing where she's like lassoed him and he doesn't know, and then her using the truth where she's now somehow speaking even though she's not on the broadcast. I don't even know how that works. So apparently the lasso of truth.
Lasso of truth has the power to broadcast through a satellite.
So somehow it's able to manipulate sound also to throw her voice to where he's standing, which is on the broadcast from where she's at, even though none of the mics or camera are pointed at her. So
she's a superhero. Superheroes do superhero things.
And then somehow, I don't know, there's the lasso's like showing him what's happening to people. I don't know. It's just so weird that like, I guess it's not too weird in the sense that comic book writers will write whatever the character needs to do to overcome a situation.
Yes.
And apparently, people who are making these movies are now taking those same liberties to be like, you know what? I need her to do this, so now she has this power, or this object can now do this thing. And I don't know. It's
I just feel like annoying. For superheroes movies, it's like you have decades of story material to go off of, and they go, who needs that? And just does something completely different. And it's like, well, that's what people want to see, this character the way they're predicted in the comics, or animated series, or any other sources that have been going on for
that people love.
And then let's throw this out the window and to try and rewrite something completely different. Then it's like, well, people are like, well, what is that? That's not what I'm used to. That's not what this character normally does.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange to see all those things manipulated. I mean, the other companies who bought Marvel's movie film rights learned right off the bat, right? There was not too many of those that were successful back in early 2000. because they did that exact same thing. They're like, hey, we have a great idea for this character to modernize it and bring it, bring the character forward. Those all flops pretty much, except for like one or two at most. And even the ones they consider successful, in my opinion, still sucked. So, what else do we want to say about that? Yeah, so she renounces her wish because she's losing her power. We see her getting hurt, taking damage, not being as strong, blah, 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 blah. And then she finally gets her power back. She fights Barbara,
which I always thought was weird. Her wish that she goes, I want to be an apex predator. She never says she's a cheetah. She just wants to be a predator to Diana because that's who she's thinking about.
Yeah.
And he basically said that
humans, right? She said she wants to be different from everybody else.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's why she became a cheetah. It
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't really make sense. And even too, he said like, "Oh, I'm giving you a wish free of charge. Like, there's no side effects." So I'm like, shouldn't she still kind of be human? But we'll just all college powers and I'll just be above everybody else. And she wasn't even above Wonder Woman. So it doesn't really make, like, her wish didn't really make sense.
Also, too, if she did wish to be like Diana, she wasn't as strong as her, right? No. So it's kind of weird. I mean, heck, if anything, making that a second wish should have made her stronger than her, right?
Yes.
So, and at the end, it is kind of silly that, she electrocuted her?
Yes. So, because she kept telling her stop. It was like, that's the thing I said with Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Isn't Wonder Woman in the same water and doesn't get electrocuted?
She's a god, yo. She doesn't get electrocuted.
She's Zeus's daughter, so maybe she's impervious to electricity.
But that's what I'm saying. If she has the same powers as her, it shouldn't hurt her either. To just be sitting there in electrified water going, well, what now?
Silly. Very, very silly. That's all I can say. I'll say it again, silly. Because I've said it a couple different times already. All right, anything else you want to talk about on this one?
Maybe we covered it.
Man, I hate this movie. Watch it if you love Wonder Woman, I guess, or whatever. I love watching Wonder Woman depicted well. I've seen her through all the different types of Justice League and cameo roles. I've seen her independent WB animated film, which I thought was really good. Really good, actually. Shows different ranges and depths. I mean, I remember the Justice League episodes where they literally focus on just Wonder Woman to like show her where she actually gets her new powers, she gets her new bands that give her flight and additional things like that, where this didn't really go into all that good stuff. That just kind of was like, because you love Chris and Chris loves to fly, now you can glide on the wind and pull yourself through the air on a whim. Like you're not attaching to anything, or this lasso can now lasso to anything. So if there's nothing above you, just throw the lasso out and you can keep going. Which doesn't make sense because later on in the film, or just before she starts flying, she like lassos a random telephone pole out in the Middle East to swing and save kids. No, my bad. It's the rocket first and then to the telephone pole. And she's like, slips out of my hand because I'm losing my strength. Yeah. And somehow the kids don't get hurt from her falling and rolling on top of them. So it's kind of weird.
She's soft strong.
Yeah, kind of weird. Not to nitpick at everything, but once you get this far into the movie, you're just like, okay, what else is wrong? What else is wrong at this point? Everything. What did they do right? They cast Gal Gadot. That's what they did right.
Yes. And the Mandalorian.
What the hell does that have to do with WB?
The villain.
Oh, Pedro Pascal. My bad.
Come on, man.
My bad, son. If you said Mando, I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Mandalorian.
When you say the Mandalorian, I thought you were talking about the show.
He is the Mandalorian of the show.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the movie. So you said the Mando.
I said he cast the Mandalorian. Bam.
Pedro Pascal did a good job. I think he would have done better in the original role of what the character was designed. That he was a legit high-power executive that had like a little bit of mind control powers, and then maybe showed that like how it got amped up, right? Because fighting off mind control would make a much better story, in my opinion, than fighting someone who can grant wishes. Yeah. Right? I mean, you might as well have had to fight Genie from Aladdin, right?
Or Jafar.
Or Jafar, right? Oh, that would have been a really funny crossover. Jafar, where's the lamp? But alright, so thanks for watching the video. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to try to put out more videos. Let us know what you like in the comments. And if you made it all the way through the end, put a hashtag made it to the end.
All the way to the end.
In the comments. See you on the next one. Peace.